Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let me on the outset thank Elets for creating this opportunity to share whatever little I know about on the topic. And the topic as such is enlarging the horizon of education on a global level, opportunities and possibilities in the digital age. Enlarging, enlarging horizon itself provides you numerous aspects of this topic. Number one, it could be Indian institutions going abroad. Number two could be taking Indian education to the students abroad, mutually having collaborations between foreign universities and our own university. The last one could be enhancing our own education standards to global levels. As far as I'm concerned, I would take the last one, that's enhancing Indian education standards to global levels. Okay. Before that, if you look at the way we are digitalizing across the globe, there is a paradigm shift in education delivery. New models are emerging where, rather than a student coming to the universities are going to the students, and there are, a couple of them have proved these models, especially universities like Cornell, Harvard, all those reputed universities, and we as Indian universities are yet to take off on this aspect. So there's a great amount of opportunity on that aspect where we can take our education to the global standards. But before we do that, there are fundamental parameters. If they are not set right, it will not be possible to do that. If I am to look at, various issues of collaborations and things like that, and talking about enhancing quality, for last at least 2 years, we've been hearing about from the government and UGC inviting foreign universities to India. That's a big thing. And I don't find the purpose behind, and anything which you want to change, anything you want to do, there is always a why behind it. Unless you find your why, probably you may not succeed the way you should have succeeded if you had found your why. So why do we want to invite foreign universities here? We all can have our own reasons, but the authorities, those who are, we are yet to give any reasons to us. They might have their own reasons, right? So, when we start our journey, there's always a destination fixed. Unless you have a destination, it will be very difficult for us to find means of reaching there, the different routes to reach there, the speed of our journey, etc., etc. They all are decided based upon the destination and the purpose of our journey. Unless that is there, it will be difficult for anyone to have a safe journey, faster journey, or to reach on the destination. Similarly, if I look at Indian education, unless I know what ails me, how am I giving a treatment to it? So do we have any research, not surveys? The surveys being conducted by numerous magazines and whatever they throw on us, we accept that. No, I'm not talking about those kind of surveys. Do we really know what ails Indian education system? Unless we know that, we will not be able to treat it. So fundamentally, when you look at education, as I understand, we all can have different views. Fundamentally, if I understand, currently, if you look at, there is a triad transactional relationship that exists in education system. When I talk about triad, you have HIs on top. In one way, you have a students. On another way, you have a faculty. Each one transacts with other one. Student transacts with university for the purpose of earning a degree. Faculty transacts with the university to complete his or her course, right? And student and faculty again have a transactional relationship. Student expect marks, faculty expects to complete the course. Now, if this goes on, when I say this, I also, claim a disclaimer saying that all of us are not that way, right? But I'm talking about a majority where 99% of students who are enrolled in smaller institutions, smaller towns, and rural areas. That's where Bharat is all about. Having put certain universities at a top level doesn't change our education system. The governments over a period of time have been harping on QS ranking, Times ranking, and Shanghai ranking. It's fine to have ranking, but what would it change as far as the Indian education is concerned? Will it change the kind of the tried transactional relationship I talked about? Unless otherwise, I make it transformational, nothing would change. Just look at what is it? Who is being shaped? Who is shaping? And how are we shaping? There's a human being involved in that. If the process, if you are using to shape, is again a human being role. It's not, sending across guidelines, instructions will not make education change. Not at all. Because it's not a machine where you put instructions and it starts happening the way you want it to happen. It requires a fundamental shift in the mindset of everyone right from top to bottom. Unless we recognize that, we will continue to do what we have been doing for a long time, churn out degrees. You keep listening from various surveys. 85%, 80%, 75% are unemployable graduates. Even I have my own reservations on those. How these surveys are being conducted. Who is their, sample size? Who they include in their sample? What is the basis of understanding employability? See, it's a very complex issue, calling somebody employable or not. For which institutions and organizations and business institutions, they are not employable. They may not be employable for Tatas and Reliances, but there are small businesses, they may be employable there. So how do I declare that 85 or 90% are unemployable? Why should an institution create employable students? Why do they need to create thinking people? No, my role is not to create employability. My role is to educate. And education not necessarily, focus on employability. Employability could be a byproduct of education. So, if I look at, when a child comes to a school or a college, he comes as a whole. It doesn't come one part of his whole. That means it doesn't come only for his brain to be developed. Its soul, his hands, that is ability to do things has to also be developed. So coming back to taking education to the global levels. If we invite foreign universities, what would happen? My thought, number one, it will make education elitist. How? Look at who would they attract. People with higher income group, people who speak well in English, and people who have very high marks, and from good economic background students. Who do that? That's what. And how many would they come? What percentage it would be? At best 1%. Will it change? So the change is going to be minuscule. Number one. Number two, do we have socio-eco-legal environment ready for that? There are so many legal hurdles, they have not been put aside. Will we be able to ready to pay them what they get out there? Will we be able to create the ecosystem in the country where those students would be coming to us? Will we be allowing them to work beyond their education? So there are so many complex things to do. So what is it required to be done? Let's think about it. Is there any other alternative rather than just being dependent on inviting some quality universities here? Yes, there are. You can always have an alternative to that. Having such universities over a period of time, maybe say 20, 30 years, start showing some kind of results. But you can't wait for so long. What is that we are actually looking for? Are we looking for that foreign degree? No, I don't think that's it. So what are you looking for? We're probably looking for the processes and systems which exist in those foreign countries. If they are brought here, probably it will change the way education is delivered. Another important thing, see, like we say, what we speak and what we talk, in fact, influences our behavior. Look at what we talk in our education. Course completed? Big thing. Number of hours, teaching load. Teaching load. Teaching becomes a load. Lecture. I completed my lecture. You know, the purpose of lecture is to disseminate information when you have a large audience. And we continued that as the thing in education. Unless we change these basic fundamental things, human nature will not change. It's very difficult to change human nature. Unless we work on him or her, things won't change. They stand there itself. So my thinking is that if we send thousands of people, that is faculty members, abroad, let them learn those systems and processes, how, to involve student, how to engage student, right? How to motivate student. See, transferring information is redundant today. It's not required, but that's what we do. But shift from that position to the desired position would require training. And when you have those people abroad, few thousand people trained, they come back and then they become catalysts to train another few thousands and thousands. And that process would probably will have a better chance of changing the way education is delivered than what we actually consider to invite foreign universities in the country. Might take ages. I don't know how long it will take. But there are options available, provided we have discussion on it, provided people listen to others' views also, right? In whatever position one is sitting, and sharing these directions and instructions is not necessarily the only way. So if government cannot support, there could be small efforts here and there. The good number of universities which are doing good job, they would definitely do their own. But how much going to be the impact? That's going to be minuscule, as I mentioned earlier. Right? That change would take ages to be, showing in our own systems, in our country. So as far as internationalization is concerned, I haven't yet to learn what are those parameters when you say global standards. Somebody say, getting into QS makes us great. I don't know. I many times fail to understand how research professor or someone who is a university which is engaged in great research work is actually making an impact on the student. We might say, no, it has a great impact, but I still don't have any research to read and make up my mind. Yes, greater the research in a university, greater the impact on the student. Not yet established. Yes, we can conclude, because it attracts better students, it attracts better faculty, and then the overall environment. No, not just because of research. There are multiple factors. There is no single factor which is responsible. Yes, research maybe, but then there is alternative to that. What is it? Whatever research is available, I can use that. If I have to give an insight, greater insight into a particular discipline, I don't have to myself. So the kind of research which is happening, I don't know how much useful it is, truly speaking. How much TOTs are actually turned out from university portals of our country. That desires a much more, directions right from the top. Investments, yes, investments are coming. We know the research foundation which is going to bring, how details are yet not out, so can't say much about. So finally, my conclusion is that unless we do it at a ground level, nothing much will change. Instructions and directions, if you all recall, there's about 20 different kinds of guidelines available to us. What has changed? Those who wanted to change will change themselves. But these will have no impact on it. That's my final conclusion. Thank you. Thank you so much.